Hi there, this is Cindy Lou with CHRO Partners, and I'm joined with Lisseth Zouhbi. And did I say that right? Zouhbi?
It'd be perfect. Yes. Thank you.
Zouhbi. Yes. And she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and her organization. But today we're going to dive deeper into L&D. She's joined us before in the past, but we're following her journey. And there's a couple new apps that she's going to share, and I'm going to show you one of mine. I love one of the apps that she's going to share and how much time it's going to save. In fact, I think you've just caused me to have to get another tool. In any case, all right, Lisseth, share with us a little bit about your organization and yourself.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Mhm.
I'm currently the Chief People and Culture Officer at Child Care Resource Center. We are a nonprofit based in Los Angeles, and we provide services to our communities throughout LA and San Bernardino. So currently we have almost 1,400 staff. When I joined, we were about 900. So in a very short period of time, we've grown about 40%. And as we were growing, one of the things that was very important strategically for us was to create a very robust L&D program and leveraging the technology. And so my L&D team started using some amazing tools called Scribe and Articulate to create the content. And so Scribe, predominantly, we've used it to create SOPs. And Articulate, we use it predominantly to create learning content from scratch. And so it has saved the team a lot of time because in the past, without having these tools, all of this would be manual, right? You know, copying and paste from different sources, from Word, Excel, or creating a PowerPoint. And so that took a lot of time. And, you know, we don't have a lot of resources in terms of, you know, a staff of 100 in L&D to create content. And we had to create content, you know, very quickly because we were growing very quickly. And so the team explored some different AI tools, and these are the tools that have been used. We've been using it now for probably almost 2 years now.
Okay.
And it really started when we were transitioning to Workday. We had to create SOPs from scratch. And so um, the team explored some tools, and this is where we are now.
Okay, that's awesome. Like this conversation is so relevant for me personally because we're actually in the process of a whole SOP process as well, because I want to be able to, scale the business and have other people be able to follow along and not have to rely on me for every instruction. And so historically, how I've done SOPs, and this is even with the help of AI, okay, and not historically, but like yesterday I did this. So I will record a screen, I'll do a Zoom with, either Fathom or, on Zoom, and I'll record the instructions with the screenshot, right? And sometimes these recordings can be like 15 minutes long. And I'm like, I want to provide different avenues for people to view. People learn differently, right? Some people like to watch it, some people like to listen, other people need to read it. And so I would record it. And back in the old days, I would just be like, here it is. Sorry, it's 15 minutes. And you got to sit there and watch me stumble through, this process. And then I would take the transcript, whether it's from Fathom or directly from Dropbox. And I would take that transcript and put it into ChatGPT. So some people might be like, well, why wouldn't you just use ChatGPT? Why do you need Scribe? And don't answer that yet. Okay, so now we're into step 2. I put it into ChatGPT and I'm like, please write out these instructions, clear and concise for our team to follow. Then I have to take the transcripts or the instructions and the video. Then I've got to load it all up into we use ClickUp, which is our project management tool. With the link, right, to the Google Doc, with the link to any Excel spreadsheets, with the link to whatever else is associated with that. So how would you streamline that process with Scribe? What's that?
So the way that it's been used is you create very simple prompts. You identify what tools you want to use, and then Scribe basically creates that document for you, right? So it
Show
saves
us?
you a
Yeah.
lot of time. So
Yeah.
the sample that I will show you, it's creating a document on an SOP on how to use Wrike. So let me share my screen.
Okay. then. Right. So this is a demo, and just in case this is small, so it looks like she's using Scribe. She just clicked new, and she wants to write an SOP in a browser format. Looks like she's got she's named it test project for Ripe, which is you said your project management tool. So she's showing how to create a task in in a project. So create project charter. So she's added that line. So this is very similar to ClickUp. You're just adding the different steps.
Correct.
Looks like she can, she's adding another step, which is team review, another step, which is sponsor sign off. So it's good to know your governance and your processes. And then on the right, it looks like Scribe is capturing all these screenshots.
Correct.
And then she's now assigning dates, and I see that Scribe is continuing to capture all these little steps. Yeah, you start to put SOPs together, you're like, I had no idea it was like 59 steps to do a blog post or
Right.
something so simple, and you wonder why things fall by the wayside. Okay, so now it's showing all the different screenshots. It looks like that Scribe captured. She's adding a page using AI. And so let's see what AI is going to do here. Okay, this is the right workflow. So it looks like it suggested that. Create an SOP for adding tasks to Rike. Pretty cool. Wow. So there it is. Gives you everything from the purpose of the SOP, the scope, the actual step-by-step. And then it looks like you can actually then look at each screenshot. That's amazing. Okay, that was a lot faster than when I do an SOP. That's
So this example
uh-huh.
took 2 minutes, right?
Right.
And it would have probably taken, I would probably gauge to say an hour, maybe two, right? To do all the typing, the copy and paste, coming
Screenshot.
up, yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Coming up with the purpose statement and so forth, and it even formatted into, again, the SOP template.
Right.
So
So
that's
time saved like 2 hours and say 15 minutes.
correct.
Times how
Yes.
many SOPs when you're going through a Workday implementation do you have to write? Probably too.
Exactly,
No.
exactly.
Wow, that's easy to show ROI. Just very simple. Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing. Okay, so I've been seeing this on social media a ton, Scribe, but I have to say you probably just did a better commercial for them than their marketing team. Okay, so that's Scribe. I definitely can see so many opportunities, right, for any function, not just HR, to go through this. How good a shape were your SOPs to begin with? I guess you were starting from scratch because you were switching to a new system, right?
Yes, it was sort of a combination because we wanted to incorporate the business processes with Workday, but in some cases, foundationally, we had sort of generic SOPs, but they were obviously, outdated. And so we had to create, oh gosh, maybe close to 50 SOPs between probably us and the finance, and it keeps evolving, right? And so
Right.
that's the beautiful thing about it is that it continues to save you time as you continue to evolve your processes.
Mhm.
And so that way you really can spend time on other value-added experiences or brainstorm additional ideas to create these new content.
Right, right, right. No, that's amazing. Or in some cases, it just doesn't get done, right? And then there's just a lot more wasted time. People asking, well, can I schedule a meeting with you so you can show me how to do something? It's like something that's repeated over and over again. So bravo to you and your team for that. Thank you for
Thank
that
you.
cool demo. So now let's switch over to Articulate 360. That's a training tool. And I think that you told me that before it was just all manual process.
Yes.
Yeah. So PowerPoints and speaker notes. So let's see what you have here. And I think there's a lot of organizations that just need something quick, short, short and sweet, simple, self-directed, nothing fancy, but they just, need to be able to get it down. So let's see what this demo looks like for Articulate.
And one of the things you'll see in this demo as well is that there's really a lot of different capabilities to customize it, which I think is one of the great things about it. So let me share the screen again.
Oh, it's sharing. It's sharing.
We're sharing? Okay.
All right. So you got some learning objectives. These are the ones that your team maybe put together initially.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a quick sample.
Okay. So now it looks like the user is clicking the AI assistant, maybe edit text.
Yeah.
And then the drop down shows that you can, improve the writing, fix spelling and grammar, make shorter, lots of options here.
Change the tone, audience.
Make shorter, so turn into bullet point list. Now she writes, turn this list into measurable objectives. Let's see what it does. Okay. Utilize tools to create content by developing a sample project so it makes it more concrete. So yeah, the AI really just does the work for you instead of having something really generic. Prepare file. Okay. And then I didn't see what that one said. Now she's going to go to more simple writing. Add voice narration and checklist. Okay. So the simple writing might be good for executives, right? Quick and punchy.
Right. And you can keep changing.
Yeah. Right. And that is a demo of how Articulate can help. Articulate360 helps different writing styles. How have you measured like the results of using Articulate360 on your team?
It has saved us a lot of time. It's created efficiencies. Plus, the team is also very cognizant of the different learning capabilities, the different learning styles. And so they're also able to incorporate different methods to make sure that, we capture those that are more tactical or audio, right? So understanding the different learning styles. And that has also helped to them vary how the content is created. And very easy to use. It's at their own pace, but just the time in itself that it has saved. And what we started doing this year, we started measuring the number of trainings, the number of hours, and we've seen an exponential increase in the utilization of our LMS because of the amount of trainings that we have available. And we also try and make them, short, quick, to the point so that it's more digestible. There are going to be some trainings that require, more longer period, like the California sexual harassment, that has to be 2 hours, right? So depending on, what is the purpose, who is your audience, what is the information we're trying to convey, it's very, very customizable. The team, I think this particular training, she created it within one day, in a couple of hours. And so, then you can go back and customize it. If small things change, instead of having to rebuild the entire content, you really have the core of it created.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, so now I'm going to share one that has some talking heads, and let's see, let me just share my screen now. Okay, can you see this?
I see the black screen. It's starting to share screen.
Okay,
There we go. I
Okay.
see now. Yeah.
Okay, so as you know, for our mastermind members, we do summaries that save time. And because we know that you guys are so busy, there's not enough time to read everything. And of course, we try to do these kind of vlog interviews to share stories and ideas with other CHROs, but sometimes it's just overwhelming. And I think that to try to keep up with the amount of content, like I just shared a McKinsey paper with you, right?
Yes.
It is, let me see, 26 pages. And you're like, okay, that sounds great, but maybe I'll listen to it in the car is my thought. But like to sit here at my desk, like I'm going to get interrupted 50 times before I get to, finish this article. So we saw this at the big CHRO event where our speaker, Chris McKay, talks about Notebook LM. And so I will gather like an enormous amount of research that I think is relevant to our CHROs, right? And so, for example, the CHRO learning path has 32 different ones. And so what I found is that this, I'm doing multi-model, which I'm guessing there's some app out there that will pull all this together for us someday. But in this case, the Notebook LM does an amazing job with putting a podcast together, like the story arcs and like it would take me probably a month to do this term paper kind of thing, to read through all of these, highlight everything, pull in all the sources, right? But it's amazing that they can put together a podcast literally in no time at all. And it's 15, 20 minutes, which I think you're like 26 pages, 15 minutes, right? And
Right.
this is of how many sources did I have in here? I don't even know. Like, I think you can have up to 50. Okay, so then I take the transcript and then I pull it into ChatGPT, which then gives me basically an outline that's like, I tell it that I want a slideshow, right? So give me the title of the slide, give me the on-screen copy, give me the speaker notes, and then I'm able to turn it into basically a video with Synthesia. So it's kind of a multi-step process, which is a little bit of a pain, but I'm sure somebody will come up with something, or somebody who's watching this will be like, hey, you could just do this, right? And the end result is basically this. Hopefully I shared my sound. Hold on a second. Let me just stop for a minute, make sure I've shared my sound. Okay, yes, it is sharing sound. Okay, you can see this now?
Yes.
CHROs can lead AI adoption
Let me start over here.
with one-off tools, but with a portfolio approach that creates real business value and drives talent transformation. My name is Ian, and I'll be guiding you through this with my co-host Alex.
Hi, my name is Alex. We're your digital co-hosts from CHRO Partners. We work alongside mastermind groups led by Cindy Liu to bring you what's working without the noise.
Let's start.
So you get the idea, right? And of course, I'd like to be in all my own videos, but there's just too much information right now, right? Like in order to, and they honestly do it better. So taking that podcast, going to create a speaker script, and then going into video. So I'm curious, Lisseth, from your perspective, like what kind of training do you think would be better served with talking heads? So actually, you can record yourself, right, and pull yourself in as an avatar. Although I don't really love my avatar right now, so that's why I was using some of these talking heads. What kind of training do you think would benefit from talking heads like that versus self-directed?
Probably any content on the self-development, probably,
Yeah.
right? To kind of capture that essence of the direct correlation and building that, like if you're building the rapport with a facilitator, right?
Right.
That's sort of what comes to my mind.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. In fact, I think there was a report, I read about it in McKinsey, but it was something like a 30%, only 30% companies actually provide like personal development kind of trainings, right, when it comes to human skills.
Right.
And of that percent, like none of it really works all that well. And part of it is like not everybody gets an executive coach, right?
Mm.
So I think there's definitely opportunities there as well. Um,
Yeah.
what kind of lessons learned, Lisseth, as you guys have gone through this process of selecting AI tools? I know the last time we spoke, you were just in the process of, like working with your CIO or your CIO on another tool called Kindo. So
Indo AI.
Kindo AI. Tell us about that tool and like what's the process look like when you're trying to, introduce a new tool or model?
So Kindo AI, we got introduced to it actually during a human resources workshop, and sort of kind of the early stages about what is AI. And
Mhm.
during this workshop, they did a demo, and we were just blown away by the ease of how you can use it and how much time it saved you. And some of the samples that they showed us at that time was specifically around, these tasks that we do in human resources that are very administrative. So
Mhm.
creating job descriptions or, training checklists. And our team started exploring a little bit more about it. The facilitator who actually did the demo at that time had separate workshops. And so the more that we learned about the tool,
Mhm.
we thought, I think it would be good for us to present the business case to our executive team, because we were in that period in the midst of a lot of organizational changes.
Mhm.
And with that came rebuilding job descriptions, and we probably have close to maybe 300 different job titles. So can you imagine trying to recreate 300 job descriptions? And so we did a quick demo to the executive team. We presented the idea of what were some of the initial projects that we wanted to use it. And then our IT division connected with the vendor. They did the IT, security analysis, and
Mhm.
did the RFP on that. And literally, we're just, about to launch it. And we have key individuals that are using it and testing it and playing around with it. And I think with AI, it's having the curiosity to
Mhm.
learn and
Mhm.
to test it and play around with it. Some of the analogies that I've heard, it's like learning how to, ride a bike.
Mhm.
You have to start somewhere. And our team is actually, very driven by technology and AI, and hence is why, we've been able to use some of these tools to help us with some of those tasks. But fundamentally, within the function of people and culture, we're continuing to look for ways to optimize. How do we, save time on some of these administrative tasks that can
Mhm.
help improve the employee experience and give us more time to focus on things that, create value for the organization and for the employees. And so we're in the early stages of utilizing Kindo AI, but now we started expanding with another division within the agency who is also going to use it.
Mhm.
And we just created an AI governance committee. And so with the AI governance committee, we're going to go back to the drawing table and look at, how do we roll out this transformation in a more effective way across the
Mhm.
organization, continuing to look where we need to build some additional guardrails, but more than anything, understanding where we are and where the potential is of where we can use it and evolving with the changes.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that you guys are doing the governance committee because that'll streamline decisions in the future faster, right? Versus like
Yes.
nobody knows how, what's the rubric for making this decision? And if you've got those things in place, then not only do you have guardrails, but it'll make decisions go faster. So, Lisseth, thank you so much for sharing today. We're going to drop your website into the chat. It's ccrcca.org. And if anybody wants to express their appreciation by making a donation to ccrcca.org, we'll add that to the show notes today.
Thank you, Cindy. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Lisseth.
Thank you.
Welcome to this course on the Generative Artificial Intelligence Policy. This course is meant to provide an overview of the policy. However, end users are asked to view the policy in its entirety to gain a thorough understanding of its key points. So what is GenAI? Generative Artificial Intelligence, or GenAI, is a type of artificial technology that can retrieve information for you, sort of like this cute puppy. What makes GenAI so powerful is its ability to pull information from just about anywhere on the internet. All you need to do is ask a question, and GenAI will fetch those details for you. Sounds pretty great, right? It's a powerful tool, but with power comes responsibility. If not used carefully, GenAI could present problems. You could accidentally breach personally identifiable information, or PII. The information generated by AI could contain copyrighted or intellectual property, which can't be used unless you have permission from the owner. Results might also contain biased or non-factual information. And finally, anything you use from GenAI could harm the agency's reputation. This is why you should always think twice about using artificial intelligence and weigh the risks. Let me give you an example. Let's say you need to write a paper on Julius Caesar. You might ask a GenAI tool, give me an outline for an essay on Julius Caesar. The GenAI tool will go out into the sea of information that is the internet and retrieve and bring back some information on that topic. Now, let's say you want to hone in on some specific information about Julius Caesar. You might then ask the GenAI tool to provide more information on the Ides of March. GenAI will then further refine the information to just what you need. Maybe the last thing you want is for GenAI to give you the information using a casual tone of voice. You can say, give me that same information in a casual voice, and the tool will display the same information, but using a more casual style. See, like this puppy, you can train GenAI tools to retrieve what you are specifically looking for. That's what makes GenAI such a valuable tool. The purpose of this course is to not only help you understand what GenAI is, but to help you navigate the most appropriate and safest ways for using it in your role. By the end of this course, you will walk away with the key concepts in this GenAI policy. You will have guidelines for using GenAI tools. You will know how to keep information secure when using AI technology. And you will be provided with a list of resources you can reference when you have questions. Thank you for taking a moment to view this important information on using generative artificial intelligence.